What's up, guys, and welcome back to Kern's Cooking. Today we're going to be making an herb rub pork tenderloin, so let's get to it. Alright guys, this recipe is really simple. We're just starting out with equal parts salt, pepper, and herbs de Provence, and we're going to liberally coat our pork tenderloin on each side. I've got about a tablespoon of each in this mixture. That sounds like a lot, but this is a big piece of meat, so you need a lot to get it covered and to get the flavor into the meat. So we're just going to cover this up, rub it in, pat it in a little bit, get it on all sides. And once we get that done, we're going to end up tying this piece of meat, because as you can see here coming up, the butcher made an errant cut. That's normal. It happens. It's okay. There's that flap. We don't want to get any seasoning in there because that won't render out right as we're cooking. But we're just going to tie this down. That's going to give us a nice uniform look like you get with a tenderloin. It's going to be nice and round. And it's going to ensure that that piece that got cut accidentally by the butcher gets cooked properly and doesn't get overdone and ruin our pork. So we're just going to put about four strings on here, and then we're going to clean up the knots. So what you want to do is get your pan on a medium-high heat. Put a generous amount of oil into the pan, and then just put your pork tenderloin in the pan and let it sizzle, and you should hear that nice sizzle sound. That means your pan was hot enough and you're sizzling your meat instead of steaming it at this point. So we're just going to sear each side. You're going to go about 4 or 5 minutes a side, maybe even a little bit longer, whatever you think is appropriate to get that nice crust. We could go a little bit longer than what you see there on each side. This is a grill pan, so I get those nice grill marks on this piece of meat. Any heavy bottom pan will work. You could even do this on the grill if you want, but we're not. We're doing it in the oven because it's wintertime here and I don't want to be outside in the cold. So I ended up rotating after we got the sear on each side. I ended up rotating this 90 degrees to get the nice grill cross hatch marks that you see when you go to the steakhouse or whatever. That's totally unnecessary in this recipe, because we're going to end up slicing this up pretty thin when we're done, so you're not even going to notice that I did that. So it's just more important to get a nice crust started with this piece of meat. So once we've gotten everything seared to our liking, our meat's not going to be done. This is too big to get the internal temperature up to 145 degrees just by searing. So we're going to set the piece of tenderloin on a plate, cover it loosely with some foil, let it rest for about 5-10 minutes, however long it takes you to get your oven preheated to about 375 degrees. So after your ovens come up to temperature, we're going to put the tenderloin back into our pan, add a couple sprigs of rosemary, add about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, however much you want. It's just adding a little bit of flavor and aromatics to our pan here. And then we're just going to throw it into the oven and let it hang out until we get to an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Now this is going to take you, depending on the size of your meat, probably 15-20 minutes, maybe even longer. This one here took probably closer to 30 minutes because it was pretty thick, pretty heavy cut. Don't worry about time, you just want to get it to 145 degrees. So focus on temperature over time. Once that's done, you're going to pull it, put it back on a plate, cover it loosely for another 5 or 10 minutes before slicing. And now just sit back and enjoy the rest of this video and our guest chef. Thanks, guys, and take care. We'll catch you on the next one.
I'll get you. Oh. Wow.
Where's your spoon? He's blowing at the steam.
Are you blowing the meat off? It's hot, huh?
Murder.
Hey, you gonna try a piece?
Is that good?
You gonna try another piece? Is it good? Can you say I like that?
Is it good? Say yummy.
Stop faking. People are gonna think this is terrible and never watch again. Here, want another piece? He likes it. What are you doing? Are you cooking?
No.
No, you're eating now, huh?